We are back with another Premier League prediction video. This week we're going to be going over Game Week 5. So we got some amazing games. The two standouts are Arsenal versus Manchester City and also Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Hopefully you do enjoy the video. If you do, don't forget to drop a like and let's get straight into it. First off, we have Liverpool versus Everton. Now the Merseyside derby is back. It's going to be great. So let's get started with Liverpool. They have started the season fairly well, winning all of their matches so far. Performance wise, it has been not the best. They keep pulling last minute winners out of nowhere. I don't know where they're coming from. Maybe some dark magic, who knows. Last game they played Burnley and they won 1-0 through a late Salah penalty. Salah scored it in the 95th minute. That's some absolutely wild stuff. But Salah has also had a little bit of a slow start to his league campaign so far. Onto Everton, they have started the season actually not too bad, currently sitting in 6th place in the league. Last game they played Aston Villa and they drew 0-0. And Grealish has had a very solid start at Everton. He has played 4 games and he has 4 assists. You just need to give him the freedom, honestly. They let him free roam around the pitch and that's what he does. His creativity is amazing. That's what he could not do at Man City. They did not let him use his creativity and he was basically looking like a robot at Man City. But Grealish has actually won the Player of the Month for the Premier League, I believe in September. Fully deserved. He's been unreal for Everton and I think Everton could be quite a underrated team this season. Now my prediction is going to be a 3-2 win for Liverpool. Moving on to Burnley versus Nottingham Forest. This game could be a very interesting game, so let's get started with Burnley. They have started this season not too well, currently sitting in 17th place in the league. Like last game they played Liverpool, which was a tough game. They lost 1-0 against them and they were honestly quite hard to break down defensively, but they had some chances, just could not take them as well. Defensively, as I said, a very strong team. I believe last season in the championship they conceded only like 16 goals or something. Offensively they do need work, obviously. Onto Nottingham Forest, it's been a rough start to the season for them, currently sitting in 15th place for the Premier League. The last game they played Arsenal and they lost 3-0. It was Angie's actually first game in charge and it did not go well. They struggled to get shots on target and they only had 1 shot on target all game. So I wonder if Angie will play a high line with this kind of team that's used to playing in a low block. Ever since they've been under the management of Espirito Santo, they've played a low block and they've done well in that low block. So I don't know if he's gonna change it up. Most likely he will, because he wants his teams to play higher up the pitch or have that backline higher up the pitch. So we'll see what happens. Now my prediction will be a 2-1 win for Nottingham Forest. Moving on to Brighton versus Tottenham. This game's gonna be a super good one in my opinion. So let's get started with Brighton. They have started the season not too well, sitting in 13th place in the league at the moment, and last game they played Bournemouth and they lost 2-1 actually, with Thomas scoring the only goal for them. And this team is actually one team that plays some very nice football. They might just take some time to get into the groove of things, even though they did beat Man City a few weeks ago like 2-1. But Bournemouth, I think they're also quite a good team so far this season, but this is gonna be a tough game for Brighton. Now on to Tottenham. They have started this season quite well, actually sitting in 3rd place in the league at the moment. And last game they played West Ham and they smoked them 3-0. I gotta say, Papa Matai, I think that's how you say his name, has been incredible so far this season. He could be a very important player for this team this season. Another player who could be so key in this team is going to be Bergvall. I believe this season is going to be kind of his breakout season for Tottenham, because last season he did not get too much game time. This season he's getting a lot more game time, which is great. So we're going to see more of him, but I did not expect them to start well, but I could see them continuing their form into the latter stages possibly. Now Thomas Frank is also doing well with this team, the new manager coming in, and he's doing great. It's crazy. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw between the two. Moving on to West Ham versus Crystal Palace. This game could be quite interesting, so let's get started with West Ham. They have not started this season too well, sitting in 18th place, which is rough. Like last game they played Tottenham, as I mentioned before, they lost 3-0. It's crazy because the game before they actually beat Forest 3-0, and Bowen is probably the most important player for West Ham at the moment. Creates so much chances and with the scoring as well. Now Crystal Palace on the other hand, they have started this season quite decent. Considering the matches they have had at the start, I think they have had some tough matches as well, because they played, I think, Chelsea already. Last game they played Sunderland and they drew 0-0, and that is a team that in my opinion will be doing very well maybe in the next few matches, but they also have been doing very well recently, even though they lost Eze this summer. Now they have Mateta, who is banging goals in, so he's a very important part of that team offensively. But my prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Crystal Palace. Moving on to Wolves versus Leeds United. This one will be tight in my opinion. So they have started the season very bad. Wolves had, honestly, sitting in 20th place, which is horrible. Last season they were doing pretty decent, not gonna lie, but they have lost Ait Nouri and also Cunha, two very key players. And last game they played Newcastle and they lost 1-0. They did not have Strand Larsen playing in that game, even though he's probably their top goal scorer right now in that team, the guy that gets the most goals. Onto Leeds though, newly promoted team back in the Premier League. They have started the season not too good, sitting in 16th place, which isn't exactly the best. Like last game they played Fulham and they lost 1-0. I swear usually they are normally quite a good attacking team, but recently they haven't been scoring many goals, probably because they're back in the Premier League and they just gotta figure out stuff slowly. But they have had a lot of shots nearly every single game. They just need to be a little bit more clinical. Now my prediction for this game is going to be a 1-0 win for Leeds. Moving on to Manchester United versus Chelsea. This game is going to be quite good in my opinion, so let's get started with Manchester United. They have started the season not too well, currently in 14th place within the Premier League. I believe Amorim is going to be under pressure in the next 3 games, because if the results don't come, he could potentially be sacked. Now the last game that they played was against Man City in the derby, and they actually lost 3-0. They played alright, they just struggled to create proper chances. Sesko kind of struggled. He did have 1 to 2 chances but could not score. Now on to Chelsea. They have started the season not too bad, currently sitting in 5th place within the Premier League, and last game they played Brentford and they drew 2-2. Palmer scoring in that game as well, Casado banging a goal, and he has been so important in that team in the middle, just getting those interceptions and breaking up the play in the middle. Joao Pedro has had a good start for his career at Chelsea. He slots right into the team. He fits very well in that team. My prediction for this game is going to be a 2-1 win or Chelsea. Moving on to Fulham versus Brentford. Now I could see this game being quite even, so let's get started with Fulham. They've been doing not too bad this season, currently sitting in 11th place in the league, and last game they played Leeds United and they won 1-0. And usually this is a very organized team defensively, like they're very good at getting those like 1-0 results. Now Jimenez has been in form recently. We love to hear that, especially after he lost a bit of form and after his head injury as well. So glad to hear that he's back in form, and they won their game off a own goal header from Leeds. It was crazy. It literally came in, the player was open and he just headed it straight into his net. Gudmundsson was the scorer of the own goal. But onto Brentford. They've started the season not too bad, currently in 12th place in the Premier League. Like last game they played Chelsea and they drew 2-2. Fabio Carvalho pulled a draw out with a 93rd minute goal. Fantastic. They seem to be doing not too bad with Mbeumo, Norgard and Thomas Frank leaving as well. Oitara has been a solid signing for them. He's been doing pretty well, I would say, but my prediction is a 1-1 draw between the two. Moving on to Sunderland versus Aston Villa. This game could go either way in my opinion. So let's get started with Sunderland. They are a newly promoted side. They have started the season quite well. They're actually sitting in 7th place in the Premier League. Like last game they played Crystal Palace and they drew 0-0. Xhaka has been one of those key signings for them in the team. He could be a player who could just bring a huge impact into the team, just commanding in the middle of the pitch, and he could be one of those key players in that team for sure. I believe Sunderland could be one of those underrated teams as well this season. On to Aston Villa. They have started the season quite horribly, currently sitting all the way at the bottom in 19th place. So last game they played Everton and they drew 0-0. It's actually crazy. They have not scored a single goal yet this season. Something has to change from the players, or Unai Emery has to adjust some tactics or something. I think a player that really stands out in that team is Morgan Rogers. He's a very good player and I think he will ball out this season once they start just ticking. Now Watkins has been missing quite a few chances recently. I don't know what's been happening with him. Maybe he lost his confidence a little bit. Hopefully he regains it back. Now my prediction is going to be a 1-0 win for Sunderland. Moving on to Bournemouth versus Newcastle. This game's going to be a super good game. So let's get started with Bournemouth. They have started this season very well, sitting in 4th place in the league. Last game they played Brighton and they won 2-1. They're a very underrated team this season in my opinion. Semenyo has been a player to watch since last season. Now I'm surprised that no club has picked him up this summer. Now on to Newcastle. They have started the season alright. Currently they are sitting in 10th place in the Premier League. Like last game they played Wolves and they won 1-0. Nick Woltemade scoring his debut goal for them as well, so that's huge. But Newcastle are very strong in the mid block. Their midfield strength is amazing as well, and I wonder how Woltemade will do this season. Maybe he could get like 10 to 15 goals in the Premier League unless Newcastle really develop him well and he bangs like Isak did in his like first season or two. Now my prediction is gonna be a 2-1 win for Bournemouth. Now Arsenal versus Man City is the biggest game of the week, so let's get started with Arsenal. They have started the season quite well, currently sitting in 2nd place. Last game they played Nottingham Forest and they won 3-0 as they was cooking in that match. I'm not gonna lie, Zubamendi getting 2 goals as well, but Gyökeres now has 3 goals in 4 games in the Premier League, so he's amongst the top goal scorers. We have like Haaland up there, I believe we have Gyökeres up there, and Semenyo up there with the top goal scorers. But Odegaard is injured, so I'm not sure when he will be back. I think he's gonna be missing the Man City game, but I think in this match we gotta go more offensive, because in these big matches Arteta tends to go more defensive. Like in the Champions League we literally saw him starting Declan Rice, Zubamendi and Marino in the middle. There's no creativity in that team at all. While onto Man City, they've been doing pretty decent this season, even though at the moment they are in 8th place, which is pretty low for their standards. But last game they played Man United and won 3-0 in the derby. So Haaland has been moving absolutely unreal this season as per usual. Currently he has 5 goals in 4 matches, and Foden, he's back in the squad as well. He got a goal in the derby, but this guy's technical ability is absolutely outrageous. Like it's incredible. There's one instance in the game where someone just passed it to him in the air, he takes a touch and just volleys it straight all the way down to the left wing in Doku. Incredible from him, like just incredible technical play. It's some of the best I've seen around in today's game. But slowly this Man City team is gelling together, and I expect them to do well in the next few games. Hopefully not in this game, but my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw between these two sides. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below your predictions for these games. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.